Okay, flatten. Flattens a nested array. The nesting can be to any depth. If you pass shallow, this argument, the array will be flattened to a single level. I think this one is really interesting, and I think now this is a part of the array prototype in JavaScript. It's called flat, or sorry, flat map, I believe. You can pass the infinity to it. By default, it will go only one level, I believe. But if you give it infinity, it will just go until the whole array is flattened. So in this example, let me show it to you on the editor. I think that will be easier. So in this example, we have a single array that contains 1 in the 0 index, and in the 1 index it contains another array with only one element, but in the 3rd index it has another array with two values. The first one is 3, the second one is an array that contains also an array. So it's a little bit, there's like a lot of nesting here. So let me run that. So node flatten. As you can see, the first one got flattened to the. So I'm not sure how to describe this, but every element inside of it just got to the top array, top level. But here we are only looping, like we are only flattening the array by one level. So in this array, so this one will just be extracted the 2 from it, but this one we will have 3 as a number, and this array that has another array inside of it, right? So I hope this is explained. I'm not sure, but I think this one is also really easy to implement. Really, not easy, sorry, but really interesting to implement, and I used recursion for that. Pretty sure there is another way. So flatten2 would be equal to a function that accepts the list and a shallow variable, which is just a flag to go one level or to infinity. So const is, this is where I will append the values. Now list for each element. I will just check if this element is an array. So array is array, the EL. If that is an array, I will do some stuff. I will keep distract or keep getting the values, keep flattering each array I found until I reach just numbers. And when I reach only numbers, this condition will fail, and I'll just res dot push the EL. But here I will need to check if shallow res dot push. So just go one level inside the array and distract everything from there and put it inside the result. So we can do this by distracting the original array we are on and pushing it to the result like this. Else, so if you need to go to the infinity level, so just keep getting the values from the sub arrays, we can just push the return value from the flatten2 function itself and pass to it the element. So this will keep calling itself recursively until this value will be, until this will hit. So until we found an element that is not an array, then this will hit, we will push it, and soon we will end from this loop and just return this. It sounds confusing, but I think that's it. But this is the new way in JavaScript, or the current way to push or to use or for example, sorry, this is the new way to pass each element inside the array to the function as a parameter. In the past days, without this is called the spread operator. It's really useful, but in the past days you can just do this. So empty array.push, and you don't invoke the push, you just apply it to the result array and pass to it the EL, which is an array. This will do exactly the same thing, but this is the old way. You can still do that. I mean, it doesn't matter that much, but this one is shorter. Yeah. So I can test it, the same thing, the same example we have. Let me format it. So we have the same result. I think this one is really interesting.